Welcome to English with Norberto, the place where learning English feels natural and fun. Here, you'll learn English the way people actually use it. Through real conversations, practical situations, and easy-to-follow dialogues. Each lesson is designed to help you understand faster, speak with confidence, and improve your listening naturally. So if you're ready to make real progress in your English, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. Alright, let's jump into today's conversation. Scene 1. The key insight.
Hello everyone. I'm Alex, your English coach. It is a pleasure to be with you today. We have a very special session ahead, because we're opening a suitcase full of memories and gifts. Sam, how are you feeling today?
Alex, to be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed. My brother just got back from his trip across Europe, and he brought this huge suitcase. I want to tell my family everything that's inside, but I keep getting mixed up with the words.
That is perfectly normal, Sam. Many students feel that way. You want to say there is a gift, or there are many gifts. But sometimes the brain wants to use just one word for everything. If you say there is 3 hats, it sounds a bit confusing to a native speaker.
Exactly. My brother corrected me, and I felt a bit embarrassed. I want to sound more natural when I speak.
Don't you worry. Mistakes are just stepping stones to learning. Today, we'll use those European souvenirs to master there is and there are. By the end of this conversation, you will feel much more confident describing anything, from a suitcase to a whole city. Shall we begin?
Yes, please. I really want to learn how to do this correctly.
Scene 2. The background.
Alright, Sam. Let's imagine the suitcase is right here on the table. Take a look inside. What is the first thing you see?
Let's see. Oh, wow. There is a big chocolate bar from Switzerland. It looks delicious.
Excellent. That was perfect. There is a chocolate bar. It is singular, so there is the right choice. What else is in there?
There is 5 keychains from Paris. Wait, Alex. I think I made a mistake, didn't I?
You caught yourself. That's great progress. Since you were talking about 5 keychains, which is plural, what do you think we should use instead of is?
Oh, right. There are 5 keychains. Because it's more than one.
Exactly. There are 5 keychains. You're doing great. Is there anything else?
Yes. There are 3 bottles of olive oil from Italy. My mom is going to love them.
I'm sure she will. Now let me ask you, is there a map of London in the bag?
Yes, there is a map. But wait, Alex. How do I ask you a question? If I want to know about cheese, do I say there is cheese?
That's a wonderful question. We actually flipped the order. But let's save that for our deep dive in a moment.
Scene 3. Understanding the flow.
Alright, Sam. Let's look at the foundation of this topic. In English, we must decide if we are talking about a single item or a group. We use there is for one item, and there are for 2 or more items.
Okay, that sounds simple enough. So if I open the suitcase and see one map, I say, there is a map. But if I see a stack of postcards, I say, there are postcards?
Precisely. Even if you don't know the exact number. As long as it's more than one, you use there are. Let's try a quick drill to warm up. I'll name a souvenir from your brother's trip, and you give me the full sentence. A camera.
There is a camera.
For magnets.
There are 4 magnets.
Now it's your turn. How would you say there is a suitcase?
There is a suitcase.
Wait, Alex. I found something tricky. My brother also brought some perfume. And a big bag of gourmet coffee. I tried to say. There are 2 perfumes. And there are many coffees, but he said that sounded like I was talking about different brands, not the actual stuff inside.
Why?
That is a very insightful observation, Sam. You've hit the uncountable trap. In English, things like perfume, coffee, wine, or even money are considered mass nouns. You can't count the liquid itself, you can only count the containers.
Oh,
So if I have 2 bottles of perfume, I say there are 2 bottles. But if I'm just talking about the scent in the air, I use there is.
Exactly. For uncountable items, we always treat them as singular. We say, there is some coffee, or there is a lot of perfume. Never there are some coffee. It's a very common mistake, so don't feel bad.
I see. So even if it's a giant 5-pound bag of coffee, I still say, there is a lot of coffee. Because it's a mass.
Spot on. You're thinking like a native speaker now. Let's test the listener. How would you say there is wine in the bag? Remember, wine is a liquid.
Repeat, there is some wine.
Now, Sam, what if we aren't sure what's inside? We need to ask questions. To do that, we simply flip the words. There is becomes is there, and there are becomes are there.
Okay, let me try. If I'm looking for a gift for my sister, do I ask, is there a necklace?
Perfect. And here is a professional tip when we ask about plurals or when we use negative sentences. We love to use the word any. It's like a helper word that means even one or at all.
So if I want to know if there are sweets, I should say, are there any candies? Instead of just, are there candies?
Exactly. It sounds much more natural. And if the answer is no, you would say, no, there aren't any.
Wait, let me practice a negative one. If my brother forgot to bring a souvenir for my cousin, I would say, there isn't a gift for him. Or, there aren't any gifts for him?
Both are correct. You choose based on whether you expected one gift or several. You're mastering the logic behind the language, Sam. It's not just about memorizing. It's about understanding the why.
I feel much better now. I'm ready to go back to that suitcase and finish the job.
Scene 4. Guided practice.
All right, Sam. It is time to put everything we just discussed into practice. Let's set the scene. You are the traveler who just arrived from Europe. I am your excited younger brother. And our listeners are the rest of the family watching us unpack. Are you ready for the challenge?
I'm ready. My hands are on the suitcase zipper. Let's do this. Oh man, Sam.
Welcome home. I've been waiting all day. This suitcase is huge. Tell me, is there anything delicious inside? I'm starving.
Haha, take it easy. Yes, there is a large box of Belgian chocolates. And there are several packs of Italian crackers for us to share.
Yum. Belgian chocolate is the best. Hey, look at that corner of the bag. Are there any magnets for the fridge? You know Mom collects them.
Oh, wait, let me check the side pocket.
Hmm.
No, there aren't any magnets. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. But wait, there are 4 beautiful postcards from Rome. And there is a small marble statue of the Colosseum for her shelf.
She will love the statue. Now, I see a glass bottle wrapped in paper. Is there any French wine in there? Or maybe olive oil?
Good eye. There is some expensive olive oil from Tuscany. And look, there are 2 bottles of sparkling water from the Alps, but there isn't any wine. It was too heavy for the flight.
That makes sense. Water is safer for the suitcase anyway. Oh, I see something colorful. Are there any t-shirts for me? Please tell me you got the one with the soccer team.
Actually, there aren't any t-shirts, but don't be disappointed. There is a vintage leather wallet from a market in Florence. And there are 3 high-quality pens from a famous shop in Germany.
Wow, a leather wallet? That's much better than a t-shirt. You're the best. Wait, I see one more small box. Is there a gift for our cousin, Toby?
Let me see. Yes. There is a silver keychain with a tiny Eiffel Tower on it. And there are some colorful stickers
From the Swiss mountains.
Perfect. You really thought of everyone. There are so many cool things in this bag, Sam. There is, and there are were absolutely flawless.
Thanks, Alex. It's much easier when I imagine the items one by one. I think I'm finally ready to tell Mom about the Colosseum statue without making a mistake.
Scene 5. Closing thoughts.
That was a wonderful practice session, Sam. I can see you are feeling much more comfortable now.
I am. It's much clearer when I think about one versus many. Let's summarize for everyone listening.
Great idea. Point number 1.
Use there is for one thing, and there are for 2 or more.
Point number 2.
To ask a question, just flip it. Is there? Or are there? For things you can't count like liquids, stay with there is. And always use any when you're asking or saying no.
Excellent summary. You've worked hard today, Sam. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. Why don't you try looking around your room and naming 3 things using there is and there are?
That's a great idea. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for the help, Alex.
It was my pleasure. See you next time. If you want to speak English like natives actually do, subscribe to English with Norberto channel. Every week we break down real English that textbooks don't teach.
Thanks for watching. And see you in the next session.